Well, good morning, guys. As you'll see, I'm coming from my shop right now, and I hope I've got enough battery uh, to do everything today. I'm going to just watch my battery. I'm all on battery power, and hopefully the stream's going to be good too. Uh, I'll make sure these lights that don't reflect too much on the camera. Let me see if I can get some people in here. I'm seeing a little bit of artifacts off the camera and everything. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever. Hey, comfortable man, how are you? How's the stream coming in? I'm gonna move this around just a little bit because I'm trying to not get the overhead lights reflecting on me a little bit. I might have to go up higher here. Let me move this. Let me see if I can move this camera. Whoops. And move it down like this. And not. Let me make some arrangements here, guys. And let me see if I can fix some things. Hopefully. Hey, Ponka. Okay, video. I'm coming from my shop, my number 2 shop. And as you can see, all the stuff in the background. Let me try to, as you see, I've got a truck. I got a truck on the jacks, on the sterile Coney jacks back there. I got another transmission issue. We got the transmission supposed to be coming back. Let me readjust this. This is last minute camera work and everything. So you'll have to kind of excuse my inability. I'm gonna have to get my computer screen around so I can see and talk and everything. Is the audio and the video coming through pretty good, guys? Because I'm like I say, I'm streaming from my shop right now. Like I said, you'll see I got a radiator back over here, and I think a piece of a motor, and then you'll see a truck on the jack stand back there. You see I got a truck up in the air back there where we're putting the transmission in, and hopefully everything. So audio and video is good. Oh, good gracious, I am losing power quickly here though. I'm probably going to make it a short video. I've noticed I didn't bring my external power for my computer up here, and it is dropping quickly on the power. So this may be a fairly short video today because I wasn't prepared. I had it at 94% and it has dropped like a rock. So it evidently does not like being on battery power and streaming and everything else. So I'm gonna have to kind of keep an eye on my battery on my laptop here, because I'm running off my laptop computer and just enjoying Sunday morning here inside my shop, or one of my shops. This is my newest shop. I think I've shown y'all before. This is the newest one I built. It has it's pretty good size. It's 60 by 160, and it's got 3 real good double doors out here, so I can get trucks and vehicles in. And then I've got a bay door on the end for the dock, and then a couple of other side doors, small doors. But it's a pretty nice shop, well insulated, and I don't even have the heat on in here this morning, and it's not too bad. Nippy, a little bit nippier than I was expecting, or I might have put another coat on this morning. But it. Oh, you saw where some. Yeah, they're probably always going to be some lanes. 600,000, huh? How many? Yeah, that's probably team lanes too, I bet. Isn't it comfortable, man? Uh, yeah, they. If I were to guess, that's probably. I mean, if it's some good local lanes, that'd probably be a good way to go if you want to check into it and everything. A lot of times I don't know if it's if it's going through a broker, you may have to come up with a good bit of money. If it's not going through a broker, you'll probably have to, you might can get some owner financing, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Well, most people don't have 600,000 to throw away on it right quick, but a lot of times you might find somebody. I mean, I did some owner financing. I sold 6 runs. I sold 6 runs out of Greensboro a little over right close to 2 years ago, and I owner financed those for another contractor. Of course, he was well established. I knew he could do it. I knew he could make the payments, and so I've had that done. And he he pays me weekly. Is what he does. So that way, when he gets his settlement in for those runs, I know a portion of that's going to come back to me to pay off the runs, and then I don't have to deal with it too. So that's why I did that, and I sold those for probably around that same amount. Let's see, no, it's a little bit more than that. Uh, I sold them for about 800, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's a doable thing, uh, but it's all relative. I mean that money just comes right in and goes right back out. As far as my situation is, we're turning around and we're getting ready to buy 4 more trucks, and you're looking at laying out another, even though these are used trucks, so you're looking at 350,000 right there for 4 trucks, and have to spend for that too. And that's, hey, Diesel Doctor, I hadn't seen you in a while. Oh yeah, yeah, we got it. Yeah, we've got the front axle chained up. Yeah, it had, you have to lift it up back there. How do you like that lift mechanism back there, Matt? That's pretty neat, isn't it? Yeah, it works good. Yeah, when we're running a tandem like that, we can put the rear axles on the lift part, and then the front axle, we go ahead and chain it up, just like when you're doing it for a wrecker. Yeah, yeah. Moving on up. Yeah, moving on up to the east side. Uh, yeah, that's what happens sometimes. Well, hey there, Justin Sturgill. Yeah, I'm buying 4 more of those Cascadias, and trying to keep them all about the same. They all got the DD15 in them, and I've got a, Detroit specialist that helps me. So I'm feeling pretty confident with that, and they work pretty good. As long as I can keep some of the Swift trucks from running all over me, I'll be all right. As most of y'all saw, I had one of my guys that got sideswiped by Swift, and then I've been dealing with Swift for the past week and a half, trying to get them to pay for my truck. And hey, Junior, how are you? Yeah, that's aggravating as heck when you've got that going on. And Justin will know. Justin will tell you too. Justin's been involved with some crazy accidents too out on the road, and or in parking lots or whatever. It can really, yeah, they are. That Swift has got to be one of the lousiest trucking companies to deal with. They'll throw anybody out there, it seems like, on the road that very little experience. If they can grab a steering wheel and take, they'll about put them on the road at Swift, because I mean it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean I have been hit twice in the past 15 years by Swift trucks, and I can't say I've ever been done like that with any other trucking line. But yeah, Swift is a pain in the butt to deal with too. I even got mad at the insurance lady the other day. I was trying to explain something to her, and she was just rattling on. You got to do this, and you got to do that, and you had to. And I said, ma'am, and I just gave up on her. I said, okay, bye. I'll see you. I said, I'll either see you, get this thing settled, or I'll see you in court. Just, I'm not going to deal with it. I've got too many other important things to do than deal with an irritable Swift lady, and that's what I was involved with the other day. So it was aggravating to say the least. Hey, Chris, how are you? Uh, yeah, I saw where you gave away your gift cards and everything. You had a pretty good spread out there, of all the different comments and stuff like that. So that worked out pretty good. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let me. Let's see if I can change this here for. Uh, I'll let Justin get in there. Yeah, but I'll give him a blue tool. He knows how to use a few tools, so I'll let him have a blue tool too. Justin's always experimenting with tools. You have to watch his channel to see the latest and greatest, and and you'll get an earful if you don't like it too. So Justin will lay it to you about the tools. But yeah, we're coming from inside the like I said, the newest shop we got. I don't know if I can turn it. Let me turn the camera around. You'll see, like I say, you see there's one Cascadia up on the blocks there, and then we've got, there's my clean burn heater right there at the top. You can see there's my farm tractor, and back around here, of course, here's the tail end. There's my wife's Mustang. That's my classic car here that I bought this for her. My wife had a 68. This is a 68 Mustang, and she had one when we were in high school, and her mom and dad got her that brand new. And then after we got married, her brother inherited it, and uh, she lost out on her Mustang then, so her brother got to drive it. So ever since then, and he sold it. And naturally, he went to college and got back, and he wanted something new. So what did he do? He sold it, and it was out of the family. We didn't. She never got her Mustang back, but ever since then, she always wanted one back. So I found this one. Uh, Actually, found it in Ohio, up there, probably close to Justin. Uh, and a guy had it stored, and I looked it over good and had it shipped down here, and she likes it pretty good. We get it out every once in a while. This one's a convertible. Hers was not a convertible. Yeah, I've got a couple of Mustangs. I've got another one that my son when he graduated college back in '95, uh, he uh, he wanted a new Mustang, so he got a new Mustang himself, and then he and I did some horse trading. Of course, I mainly had the big end of the horse anyway, but we did some horse trading when he got married, and he wanted to get something better, so I swapped it around and got his Mustang, and I got it stored at another building. Yeah, yeah, she likes it. That's our town car. I mean, we basically we it's just got a automatic with a six cylinder. It's not, and that's one reason I wanted it, because I didn't want something that was dogged. I mean, if you get somebody modified a 289 or put a 302 in it and everything else, usually you get one that's being dogged around pretty good. So I didn't, when I found this one and checked the specs and checked it out good, and the body is on it really good. It's got a decent paint job, and it's really nice. So I'm happy with the way this one uh, looks and everything, and it's neat for us. We just, yeah, it's got that six cylinder raw power. Yeah, you can mash it down. We got a couple of little rolling hills down here. We're down here in the Piedmont, and we got a couple of little rolling hills going from here to Shelby. And I tell her, I said, well, let's get a running start going downhill so we can make it up the other side good, because it does not have the power, that's for sure. It reminds me almost of my little Volkswagen I used to have when she and I were dating back in the days. Hey, Greg, how are you? I'm glad to see you in here. But yeah, it's different. It's different. It's everybody needs, like I say, a little bit of something to piddle with. And then of course, I've got my A model that's my little toy. So I got three or four of these cars that we need to, I probably need to work on them and clean them up and fix them up a little bit better. I wouldn't mind in one day maybe even finding me a crate motor for this one and make it a 302, put a 302 crate motor and a little bit better transmission in this one, so we could have a little bit more power. But as I say that, we really don't drive it that much, so it doesn't matter too much. And we get out and it's all stock. It's all stock right now. So there's a lot to be said for having it stock. 69 Volkswagen station wagon. Yeah, I never had a Volkswagen station wagon. Well, I take that back. I did. I had one of the modern ones, but I didn't have one of the old ones. I actually had a few years back. I had one that had the diesel engine in it. There was a Volkswagen. I used it as a little parts vehicle, and gosh, it was fantastic. Got 50 miles to the gallon. Ran off diesel. Actually, my mechanic has one right now. Larry has one like that, and that's what he does. He'll run all over. You can run all over the old saying, hell in half of Georgia, and just be fine with it. Yeah, I know you don't. That's my problem. I don't find enough time sometimes to drive all my projects and everything. It's easy just to jump into the BMW and be done with it, and it's a good, comfortable vehicle. So I mean, that's what we'll do. We'll jump in it and not worry about things. But you know that this is like I said, it's neat to have it, to be able to clean it up, ride it around. Of course, the thing about it is when I get the classic cars out, I'm a little more concerned about somebody bumping into those than I am my other ones. I mean, you would think that your brand new one that you worry about that, and I really don't as much for those because I mean it's an everyday car. But these, that it'd be harder to fix, and you don't want to damage the classics and stuff like that. So when I'm out with my coupe or I'm out with the Mustang and different things, I'm kind of a little more anxious and cautious. And plus, there's not as much safety equipment in it either. You get to thinking about it. I mean, no seat belts, no airbags. Uh, it's you and the metal dash and whatever hits you. So you don't think that you'll feel like you need that until you realize you don't have that. Oh, you had one of the old diesel rabbit truck. I wish they had done that. Man, if they would have come out with and they say they've got it in Germany, that they've got a diesel Volkswagen trucks. What I've heard, I don't know for sure the newer style, but if they had that, I mean, it would be fantastic. I mean, make it like a little SUV type, or 4-door diesel or whatever, or 2-door. I don't care, 2-door, 4-door, whatever. That would be fantastic. That'd be a great. I would love to have a parts truck that I could put the little Napa hat on and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've got a good bit of indoor storage. I take up too much storage sometimes. Uh, I've got plenty of projects and toolboxes and everything all lining the walls here, and you know I need to clean up the shop. I definitely have a crowded shop. Yeah, of course, those new Volkswagens didn't smell so bad and everything. I mean, I've got, like I said, both my Beamers are diesels. Those X5s, and you can't even tell they're diesels. And then, but I've had a Volkswagen when the Volkswagen Bugs came out. I got one of those with a diesel, and it was like a little rock. It was a little race car. Loved it, and we traded it off. And I got, I had some company cars. I bought three uh, Jetta diesels and had them as company cars. And then I had uh, what was the other one? There's another version besides a Jetta. I can't remember, but I had that for my daughter. Anyway, I had four of them, and then Volkswagen, wrote us the letter and said they wanted to buy them back and everything like that. So they offered me a ton of money, paid off my cars, and I had money to put in the bank. And I said, I don't need them that much, and I'll go get something else. So what we did, we sold them back to Volkswagen. They wrote me some healthy checks. I mean, I made good money off of four Volkswagens, sold them back to them, wiped out four payments. And I mean, they paid every bit of equity I had in those vehicles and then some. And they were, I mean, it was an ungodly good deal that what they were giving us. And I couldn't pass it up. So I got rid of all four of those and bought me two. I kind of cut it back and just got two F-150s. Uh, I got one for my brother. He drives one. I've got one too, and that's we kind of kept those. Well, I got three because I got Landon's. I got a diesel F-150 that I bought. I bought one of those new 3 liter diesels, 2018 diesels from Ford. And we just did that. And a lot of people say, well, it's not heavy duty. Well, we didn't buy it for heavy duty, but it's actually got a pretty darn good towing capacity on it. It's, if you go back in some of my old videos, you can see it. Me and Landon were doing, it's a gray 2018 F-150, and it's 4-wheel drive, and it's loaded up. It's a nice family truck. Landon uses it as his everyday uh, commute back and forth, and it works good for us. It gets about I want to say 28 to 30 miles to the gallon, which is not bad for an F-150. I don't think, because I got the two gas F-150s. I got the two gas F-150s, and they only get about 24, something like that, 24, 25, maybe something in that neighborhood. So they're a lot, it's all relative. It's all relative in what you're going to get there and what you want to do and what you want to spend. And I got the, my go-to truck, I guess, I got a Dodge with the Cummins in it. That's a Dodge Dually, and that's my heavy duty truck. It's a 2012 that I bought new, and it's been a very good, reliable truck. I mean, I can't knock it. Those Dodges are, that Cummins engine is good. You can't beat Cummins. I've had nothing but good service out of Cummins engines over the years. Now I haven't tried the new ones in the past few years, but the old Cummins, I got my wrecker has an N14 on it, or in it, not on it. I got an N14 with the 18 speed in my wrecker, and then I've had let's see, I've had N14 and a little small Ford that was a rocket. I mean that I'll tell you a quickie on that. It was a N14 Cummins, and I took it down to we got it. I bought it used, and it was a Spartan truck and everything, and it was a good little truck. And I said, well, it's got a lot of pep and everything. I said, I'll take it down to Cummins and see if they'll turn it up. And I said, I need a little more power pulling these doubles. So I said, well, go ahead and give me what you can get out of it. So the guys turned it up. I didn't think anything about it. I kept getting, my drivers kept getting speeding tickets in it. I mean, I had it turned. I don't think I put any limits on it. So I said, guys, don't, back off on this thing. Well, I messed around and I got a speeding ticket in it. I was coming off of over near Green River in Saluda, and I just kind of let it cruise down the mountain, and I got a ticket, and I had to go fix it. I think it's the last one I've ever had, but I took it down to Charlotte at the time. It was Tar Heel Ford back then. And I said, can you put this on the dyno and just check it out? And, I'm going to see what it's doing. And I asked the guy, I said, oh, well, how much that thing turning up? He said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? He said, my dyno only goes up to 100. And he said, that thing was still climbing. And I said, good gosh. I said, cut it back. I said, cut it back to down about 75 anyway. And he said that the guy that put that changed it on the computer and everything had turned it up to like 515 or something like that on the horsepower, and that on a single axle, it was a hot rod. I mean, you could take off in that little thing, and it was like it'd spin the wheels. It'd spin the wheels in second gear and third gear. So we had to kind of cut that one back, but it was a hoss. It was a hoss of a little truck. I mean, we ran it for a number of years, and the guys that like to really get there and get back, they'd jump in it every time, although it was not comfortable at all. It was about the most uncomfortable. Is about the most uncomfortable. If you remember those, I believe it's an L900, L9000, I believe is what it was. It was rough. It was a rough riding buggy, but we took it off the road. But it was a great engine. It was a great engine. I can't knock it. N14s were they're the beast. An N14 engine, if you can get a hold of one, and it's a beast of an engine. And like I said, we even have our wrecker at I think we got it set at 515 with an 18 speed, and it'll roll. It doesn't matter what size truck you put behind it pulling anything. It'll pull the side of a barn down. I mean, it's geared low if we need it to with the 18 speed, and it'll roll down the road. So it'll flat get it. Yeah, that's now I don't know if Justin can probably say I guess those Cummins, those ISX, I don't know what do they call those, Justin? I can't remember now. I don't know if it's an ISX or something they got out now with Cummins, but Cummins makes a strong engine. They always have, and I just never had made the transition over past an N14. I got into buying the it's an X15. Okay, yeah, I've never gotten into that. I've got into buying all the Detroits. Started. There's two different reasons. I got into Detroit. One of my friends is actually the guy that developed the 60 series engine. He was vice president of Penske Motors or Penske Engineering in Detroit. He's from my little hometown here of Cherryville. The guy's name is Randy Allran. And if you ever look him up, you can Google him or whatever, but his name's Randy Allran. And he was from my hometown right here in Cherryville, and I know him. And he was a friend. I mean, still is. I actually still chat with him online. He's retired and lives out on the coast, but he was an engineer for Caterpillar, and Roger Penske hired him away from Caterpillar to develop the 60 series engine back in the mid 80s. And Randy came over and basically he knew all the concepts and everything for the Caterpillar engine. So if you listen to a Detroit 60 beside an old, I'm trying to think of like an old C15 or whatever, they had a similar sound to them. And the reason being, Randy kind of took some of the knowledge of the Cat engine and brought it over, and they redeveloped that 60, because up until then, the Detroit engine sucked. The Detroit engine sucked big time when it was back in the old 318s and everything else. And then when Roger Penske had them to develop the 60 series engine, it changed dramatically. And so my relationship with knowing Randy and meeting him and going over all this stuff way back kind of changed my mind to go into the 60 series. And I got hung on the 60 series. And like I said, I've got a good friend that works for Detroit, and he helps me out with the DD15s. I'm not as happy with the DD15s as I was the 60s. Of course, all the newer engines are not as strong. And right now, they basically, if you they tell me if you mess up a crank in a DD15, you might as well trash that engine. It's garbage. You're not going to be bringing it back. Well, good morning, Ralph. How are you? But that's kind of where we that's kind of where I stand with that, and why I go with the Detroit and all that sort of stuff. Well, guys, I'm watching my computer, so I'm gonna get a few more minutes out of this, and I'm gonna have to head home because my computer is gonna die on me. Your 605s. Yeah, I know it, and I may have to look at some of those one day, Justin, because uh, you know I don't know how the rebuilding. Of course, everything is getting so technical right now. You don't hear many people rebuilding anything right now. Everybody's, it's one and done almost on some of these engines now. It's which is sort of disheartening. I've got a 60 in the other shop that we're rebuilding right now, and I don't know how many more of these 60s I'm gonna rebuild. My problem is I've got to go with all the new technology, and that's the other thing too. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. So I don't know where I'm gonna I don't know where I'm gonna be able to continue on with this, and uh, just have to convert everything over that. Where in the next few years we're going to see where the hybrid engines. I look, you know, Freightliner and some of the others are coming out with some of these electric hybrid mixture engines, and people are going to go to that too. I mean, if I can get a tractor trailer unit that I can get 12 miles to the gallon as opposed to, 7, well, there's half again the fuel for me, and that's a big thing to think about in the future. Of course, I'm going to be out of trucking in a few years. I mean, myself personally, uh, I'm aging out. I'm gonna hang in here as long as I can, and I mean, still enjoying it, and it still works me pretty good. So I'm gonna continue on with it. And but right now, I'm 68. I know I don't look 68, guys. I know I'm a good looking guy for 68. But uh, 68 years old, I'm gonna I had to slow down a little bit. Uh, my wife wants me to slow down. Unfortunately, my body's telling me I got to slow down because I can't climb up and down in these trucks as much as I used to. Uh, it's it's good that I've got the job set up the way I do. I mean, I can control my trucks and most of it through cell phones and everything else, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But as it goes, I'm going to have to taper down a little bit. And my wife wants me to. She wants to go see the country. We're going to take off for about a month in March and April. We're going to go out to a big NAPA convention they have out in Vegas, and she wants to see the Western states and just kind of travel a little bit. So we're going to load up the Beamer and just travel and do a few things like that. So we'll see how that goes, and see how everything hangs. I got to go out there. I got to go out there and see Chris. I got to go out to Kansas. Chris is out in Kansas. I got to run out there and see how it is, how dusty it is out there. Yeah, I had to do that. And but my wife and I, we were talking. She and I both. Uh, I've traveled all over the United States, but I'm like every trucker around there. I've seen the United States like that. You know, there's this, there's that, or you see the green signs on the road and you goes, oh, there's Carlsbad Caverns. Okay, that'd be nice to see. Oh, there's the Grand Canyon. Oh, okay, hey, Mr. Grand Canyon. You don't get to see them. You get to see the signs to tell you you're right near them, and that's the way life has been. I mean, you'll see, going through Arizona, you'll see the cactus that everybody shot up out there. That was the one thing when I went out to Arizona the first time. I was looking at the cactus, and And buddy I was riding with, and I said, "Good gosh, it looks like these things are target practice." He said, "Yeah." And at the time, I think it was about a $300 or $400 fine. He said, if you ever caught damaging a cactus, those big sequoia cactus, I think it's called. If you ever caught damaging one of those things, it's $300 or $400 fine." Yeah. Well, I won't correct your spelling too bad, Chris. Carlsbad is Carlsbad, Caverns, Caverns. See, I'm married to a school teacher. Uh, oh, your dad turned 66 in February. Yeah, fortunately for me, knock on wood, or there, uh, my health's been pretty good. I've never had a heart attack. I've never had heart issues, and I've actually, I'm overweight. I'm like a lot of guys my age. I weigh too plenty, and uh, I'm trying to cut back on my bad food that I eat. But I'm like everybody else. You get into a habit. You'll drink your Mountain Dews. You'll drink your I have to drink diet Mountain Dews. I can't take the full-fledged Mountain Dew. But it is what it is, and I try to. And you are what you eat, and you are what you put in your body. So, yeah, I've never been a smoker. I've never smoked. I've never drank. Uh, Most guys say, "Well, you drank a little bit, didn't you?" I said, "No." 68 years old and almost 60, coming up on 69, and I've never tasted a beer in my life. And it, that's and there's a long story. I think I've told some of you that my granddad was an alcoholic, and that's probably kept me from ever wanting to be a drunk or a drink or whatever. I made a vow to my mother when I was a small kid to never drink. I mean, and I did. I just kept it up. Oh, an alabaster. I don't know about that one. I'd check it out. Yeah. Yeah, you got to watch your health and everything. If you watch your health, you can last longer. And yeah, I guess so. I mean, fortunately for me, now my children don't drink. My son's 46 and he doesn't drink, and my daughter's 48, and neither one of them drink or smoke. And I at least they've taken that part that my wife and I don't, and they've carried that on. And hopefully the next generation, I hope my grandson will be the same. It's just a healthy. Everybody wants their vices and everything, I guess, but it's just something that I, I saw one granddad, ruin his life with alcohol, and I saw one ruin his life with cigarettes and tobacco, and he died of cancer. Well, actually, both of them died of cancer, but it's tough. Oh man, that's terrible. I hate to hear that about Ricky's dad. But your health is all you've got, guys. It's you know, and you'll still want to be around. I mean, I still like to be uh, a factor out here. I still like to be enjoying life. I still like to do the things I'm doing right now. So take care of yourself. That's the main thing. Well, guys, my computer, it's dying. So I'm down. It's already in the red now. So I'm gonna have to hang it up for today. I've enjoyed everything. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody has a great Christmas. We had a Christmas family party yesterday. Had a great time, and I hope to see you out here next Sunday. And hopefully, even maybe before then, I'll try to put some videos up. It's a busy week though, so I'll see you around, guys.